through. And it's like, oh, I remember those moments. So one of the things I wish I would have learned when my child was younger, or even before I even had my daughter, is that there will be seasons and that you're not going to be stuck in that particular season for the rest of your life. Because that's the way how I felt. I really did feel, I felt like I didn't have the terrible twos per se, but my daughter's very strong-willed and she knows what buttons to push on me to wear me down. But it was my fault because I was worn down because I wasn't taking care of myself, which we'll get to in a moment. So she would stand firm in what she wanted. And yeah, if you have a strong-willed child, you know what I'm talking about. But I just wish I would have had the tools in place. I wish I would have had those tools in my tool bag. I wish somebody would have taught me. I wish I would have had more support to let me know that it will pass. It will pass. Like, this is just a season. Just still enjoy that moment while they're 2 and 3 when you can pick them up and carry them on your hip. Because now my daughter's 7. I cannot pick this girl up for nothing. She is heavy. I'm like, how did you get so heavy in the matter of a year? Like, I feel like she's a grown woman I'm trying to pick up right now. But I know it's easier said than done to just enjoy the moment during that time when your child is having a tantrum, which kind of brings me to my next point, though, is you have to take care of yourself. So no matter what season of life you're in, whether your child, you're carrying a child, your baby is a toddler, you have a more independent child like I am, where they're in those years of, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they're just independent. That's the only thing I can say. Or you have a child that's ready to leave the nest, or a teen or a tween. You still have to take care of yourself. You have to practice self-care. And I think a lot of times we think self-care is just getting our nails done and, doing a facial or getting a massage, kind of like the outer surface, superficial stuff. And yes, those things are important if that's what self-care means to you. If that's what you like to do for self-care, yes, do those things. But it's deeper than that. It's speaking up for your wants and your needs. Your communication. How is your communication? Are you communicating effectively with your husband? Or your partner, your spouse? Are you communicating effectively your wants and your needs? Because there might just be a time where you're like, I need a break. I need to get out of this house. I might need to be gone for a day or two. I might need to stay the whole weekend at my mother's house or at a friend's house, or just go on a solo vacation. I need a weekend to myself, or I'm going to snap. You know what I mean? Because I've been yelling at the kids all the time, and you're getting on my nerves, and, stuff like that. So you need to be able to communicate effectively to voice what it is that you need. That's a huge part of self-care. And I know for me personally, that's one of the things that I was lacking. I do have communication issues that stemmed from childhood, and I've definitely been working on it. And I have a great husband who he's been working on it with me. Even though I know I piss him off sometimes. He's like, I just need you to tell me what you want and need. I don't want to have to force it out of you sometimes. But, old habits die hard. So I'm working on myself, right? Like I told you ladies before, if you follow me on Instagram. Oh, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you are listening. I'm at Becoming Fabulous with Todd. That's Becoming Fabulous with TEATODD. Like I said, I'm just talking. I'm putting myself out there. So there might be some mishaps in the show here and there. Normally, I kind of have like a script in front of me that I follow. So I normally say that in the very beginning of the show, my social media handle. But anyways, what was I saying? I know I was talking about my husband, how he's just a great guy. Like he listens and, he's patient with me, but there are moments where he's running low on sleep or something, and I'm running low on sleep, plus I'm hangry. And so we kind of clash at some point, but then, we'll come back together and he'll be like, I'm sorry. I just need for you to be direct and like communicate with me what you want, what you need. So, number one thing for self-care, ladies, practice effective communication. And if you're not a communicator, you're not a talker, or you don't, you don't put yourself out there, because I could talk all day. I mean, clearly, as you say, as you can hear, I should say, you hear me talking. I've been talking for the past like 15 minutes now. But when it comes to conflict or things that I need for myself, I like have a tendency to clam up. And, if that's you, another thing is self-care, another way to practice self-care, go see a therapist. And that's one of the things that I did to help me break through, break through this wall on having better communication skills, especially when it comes to conflict. Am I the best at it? No, I'm far from it. I need major improvement, but I am so much further along than where I had started. So I highly suggest, if you feel like the way how I felt, what I just explained to you, please try to find a therapist to talk to, and they will, they'll give you some tools and techniques and stuff to help you be able to verbalize your wants and your needs and communicate that effectively. So that's one. The other thing that you should do for self-care is take time for yourself. Now, that can be anything. That could be just getting outside the house for a couple of hours, going grocery shopping by yourself. That could be going to the gym, because in that sense, that's self-care. And I know a lot of gyms are probably closed, but like, go to the park, go work out, go take a walk, go walk around your neighborhood, create a gym in your garage if you have the space, or in another room or something, or even in your bedroom, and tell your kids, tell your husband, I need time for myself. I need this time. And I think sometimes as mothers, we get, what's the word I'm looking for? Because I literally just drew a blank. We get, it's not sad. Why can I not think of this word? Guilty. There we go. We feel guilty that, if we want to take time for ourselves, but our kids have something going on. We want to take time for ourselves, but our husband is rushing out. Like, we know he got to get to work. He got to leave in like 30 minutes or something. But you need a 10-minute break because the kids are driving you crazy, or, whatever it is. You're like stressed with working from home or something. You need like a 10-minute breather. We have to get past that guilt. I would tell you a story. Last year, I had taken my first solo trip. And it was right before the lockdown, the shutdown, whatever you want to call it. So, and I'm so happy I scheduled it during this time, because I was going to schedule it like later on in April, because March was kind of like every single weekend something was going on in March. And so I'm like, okay, I'll push it back to April. And my husband was like, no, you need to take this trip sometime in February, or, I already know you're going to push it off and not do it. So anyways, I planned for my trip. I looked at the dates. My husband booked the hotel room for me and everything. And then it turns out my daughter's Black History performance was that day. And she was dancing. Not only was she dancing, she was dancing to who? Beyonce. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Really? And she had, I think I had her hair out, so she had her afro. I'm like, really? You have got to be kidding me. So I was this close. I was so close to canceling my trip and rebooking it. And my husband was like, no, you got to go. And then I was like, well, I'll stay, because it happened on a Friday. And I was like, well, I'll stay Friday. And then I'll just do a one night trip, like